getting around late, but it is still morning. And it's funny that I always say I'm going to try for it, but I'm not going to make any promises after the discussion we have today. There's good reason why I say that.
It's fitting.
It is fitting.
That's awesome.
Okay, so today we're going to be discussing day 7 of 21. Take a breath, turn your heart toward God, consider these words of Jesus from the Sermon on the Mount. Let me back up. I'm Pam.
This is Derek.
And we were talking about the 21 days of prayer, the way of Jesus, a curriculum or a study, I guess, that Church on the Move did last summer. Just kind of, God directed me to do this, and I directed Derek to do this. But honestly, I say that all the time, but he's always trying to get me to do something like this, to do a study with him and that kind of thing. So, I didn't really have to push hard. Just say, hey, you want to do this? And he's like, sure. It's really, I like to say that I made him do it, but I really didn't.
She made me do it.
I didn't really make him do it. Okay. Come back. We are talking about Matthew 5:33 through 37. You have also heard that our ancestors were told, you must not break your vows. You must carry out the vows you make to the Lord. But I say, do not make any vows. Do not say by heaven, because heaven is God's throne. And do not say by earth, because the earth is his footstool. And do not say by Jerusalem, for Jerusalem is the city of the great king. Do not even say by my head, for you can't turn one hair white or black. Just say a simple yes I will or no I won't. Anything beyond this is from the evil one. There was quite a discussion between the two of us, which is why we're coming on late, over all of this. So, and we kind of have a tendency to take this little section and go, okay, no, over this section. So we decided we're going to come back, we're going to hone ourselves in, and we're going to go by these questions. And there was a lot of good conversation, but we're going to go by these questions. Okay, so from whom does Jesus say empty and broken promises come? Are you overcommitted right now? Is that not the same as an empty promise? What current commitments have you made that aren't aligned with the way of Jesus? So question 1, from whom does Jesus say empty and broken promises come? And so one thing we did talk about was in this passage, he was speaking to the Jews who were keeping the rules to the T, keeping the laws to the T.
Yeah. So that they wouldn't break the commandment not to use God's name in vain. And so instead of swearing by God, they would swear by heaven. And so that's why he pointed out, don't even swear by heaven, for heaven is God's throne.
Yeah. And then you had referenced the gold.
Oh, yeah. So the Pharisees would swear by the gold in the temple, as opposed to swearing by the temple, which was where God dwelt. So, I mean, it was a similar...
It was a way to say, well, I didn't break any promises because I didn't swear by God or swear by the temple. I swore by the gold in the temple. So,
yeah.
It
was okay to lie as long as you didn't forswear yourself by swearing by God.
Okay, so whom does Jesus say empty and broken promises come?
The evil one.
The evil one. So it says in here, simply as that, anything beyond this is from the evil one. Do what?
It's Hillary.
Okay, stop it. We're not making this political. Ignore him. Strike that.
Who's the evil one? Devil.
Right. Are you overcommitted right now? I would say that a lot of us are probably saying, no, I'm not overcommitted right now. But honestly, because of COVID, and a lot of us are in, stay at home orders right now. And so we're all just like, no, I really don't know what to do right now, honestly. Okay, so if that is true, because I can tell you that I still can overcommit myself even with that. I promise you I can. I will find a way. But let's say you're not overcommitted right now. How many of you are feeling like you're going crazy? Why? Why is that? Why do you feel like you're going crazy? Why do you feel like you need to be doing something? Why do you feel that way?
we're busy lives.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what we're used to. And we feel like, we have this ingrained in the back of our head that you have to be doing something constantly. If you have downtime, you better make it short. Yeah, you have to be committed to your downtime so that you can be ready to do all this stuff later. And so I think just in general, we are overcommitted.
Yeah, I've overcommitted myself in the church before, and it was not that I didn't enjoy the stuff that I was doing, and I didn't think I was doing good, but I felt very spread out, really thin, and not making large differences in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I think I've said it before at work. I mean, I've said it a lot of times that I can do all these things. I can make them happen, but I cannot do them with excellence.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings us to the next thing. Are you overcommitted right now? Is that not the same as an empty promise?
I mean, I think it is. Even when I was doing a lot, excuse me, it would have been better, and it was better when I backed out.
Right. Well, and I'll say, for your example specifically, when you were so spread thin with the church, not only did anything that went wrong because it didn't fit into all of your moving parts was very frustrating for you.
Yeah.
And then at home, even though I felt guilty to say anything, because it was like, well, he's doing all this for God, At home, there was a strain because you weren't able to be here. We don't have children living at home, but we do still have our relationship. So, so going back to, is that not the same as an empty promise? Well, yeah, because if you're promising to do something, you're promising that you're going to do it. You're going to do it with excellence. You're going to give it your all. I mean, when you promise to do something, you're promising to give it your all. So if you're overcommitted, you're just doing the bare minimum to say, yeah, I did that, to keep the rule, to keep the law to the T. Yeah. It's just kind of the same thing. I'm doing it. You can't say I didn't. Or I'm sure all of you know this as kids. Your mom says, quit touching your brother. I'm not touching you. Well, technically, no, you weren't. You were not touching your brother. Not that I ever did that, because I was not that kind of a kid. I was a good kid. Okay, moving on. What current commitments have you made that aren't aligned with the way of Jesus?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say, like for me, because you point out all the time, which I've done a lot better. Let's just talk about this, how much better I've done. I do overcommit, like, all of the time. Like, I'm just bad about that. So I never let myself have any downtime. And God does want us to have that downtime. I mean, Jesus spoke on that. You need your rest. You need to keep holy the Sabbath?
The Sabbath,
yeah. Keep holy the Sabbath. So, I mean, that's all very important, and I did not allow that. I mean, not to say that my idea of rest is the same as his, because his idea of rest is to watch 2 or 3 movies in a row. That is not
my idea of rest is to rest.
His idea of rest is to get on the couch, turn on whatever program we're using to watch movies, and just keep it on the entire day. That is not rest. My brain goes nuts if I have to watch more than one movie. So my idea of rest is not the same as his.
It's true.
But so that's mine. There are a lot of things that you may be doing that are not aligned with the way of Jesus, and it goes back to are you committed and are you committed to studying the Word of God? Are you committed to taking that time to have a relationship with God? Are you taking the time to really to get in there and do it, to really make it important? And if you're overcommitted, another side of that is you're not making that time for God. You're just not. So where does God align in your commitments?
Yeah. The first part of everything is God's. It's your tithe to Him. That includes your downtime. That includes your day by day. Jesus talked to the Pharisees about they're careful to tithe even the smallest part of their herb garden, but they ignore the bigger things like mercy and charity. So, again, it's the heart.
Right.
It's the heart behind it.
It's always, that's where it'll always go back to, is you can keep the rules all day long. We're not saying don't keep the rules, but what does keeping that rule mean to you? What is behind it? Are you keeping the rule so you can say, check, I did that? Or are you keeping the rule because you understand why that rule is there, and you're keeping that in mind as you go about your day?
Yeah.
So yesterday I mentioned hallowed be thy name, and what it means.
Yeah.
And go ahead and define that.
It means to be kept holy.
Be kept holy. And you had mentioned what to be kept holy actually means.
It's set apart.
Set apart.
Holy is set apart for a specific purpose.
So that, which I hadn't really paid attention to what we were going to be talking about today when I said that, so it's funny, it kind of does tie in. So, not to swear by God is because God's name is to be kept holy, is to be kept at, up on a pedestal. God's name is not just a name.
Yeah.
My name is Pam. Well, actually, my name is Mary, but my name is Pam. That is just a name.
Yeah.
God's name is not the same. God's name wasn't given to him by his mother.
Yeah.
God's name is different. So God's name is important. It's
Yeah. Even in the scriptures, sometimes they refer to worshiping his name. His name is holy. His name is worshipped. I mean, that's hard to calculate in your mind.
Yeah.
But even the sound of his name is to be worshipped.
I would say it's kind of like if God were standing in front of you in a physical form, would you be okay with you see his fingernail and you're like, that's pretty important. I think I'll take that. Would that be okay? Probably not. So if you see God's name as a part of his body, in a way, it's just a way to help you visualize it. It's not necessarily, that's not realistic. God's name is not part of his body. God doesn't have a physical body like we do. But if you see that as part of his body, part of him, because that's what it is. His name is part of him. Like we have a finger, God has his name. It is part of him. That'll kind of keep it into perspective of why his name is holy, because he is holy. Yeah. All right. So instead of going off on too many tangents, we're going to go ahead and leave that there. Again, if you have any questions, any comments about anything that we had to say, please put it in the comments. Let us know. If we need to discuss things further, we can definitely do that over in our group. So just, like I said, just let us know. Join the group if you'd like. Let us know if you want to invite to the group. It's 21 days of prayer through COVID-19. I think is how I named it. I'm so sorry. But yeah, we'll send you an invite. All right. Come close to God. He'll come close to you. Let these words of Jesus lead you into a few moments of prayer and write out your prayer. Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable. I commit my ways to you. Let's stop for a second because I forgot to do something. Let's talk about tomorrow's.
It's important.
Okay, so this evening, Matthew 5:38-42, if you can read through that. You have heard the law that says, the punishment must match the injury. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say, do not resist an evil person. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, offer the other cheek also. If you are sued in court and your shirt is taken from you, give your coat too. If a soldier demands that you carry his gear for a mile, carry it for 2 miles. Give to those who ask, and don't turn away from those who want to borrow. Matthew 5:38-42. Yeah, we were going to do this all wrong. I'm so sorry. So the questions that they're asking about this one. jot down your first thoughts and questions. Right now, you live in arguably the most litigious. I don't know what that word means.
We'll look that up.
Litigious? Litigious.
Litigious.
Guilt, justice-minded culture of all time. Most people in our world would laugh at the idea of actually doing what Jesus is suggesting. Jesus does not want you to stay in an abusive relationship. But what would happen if people in your life noticed you giving up your rights to love this way? That's a pretty deep conversation there, yo.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go to the prayer.
Litigious.
Litigious. You know what that means?
No.
Okay, we're going to find out. Anyways, so that is what we're going to be studying tonight. Again, that was going back, Matthew 5:38 through 42. And then we're going to go to this prayer. Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Help me to love those who have hurt me. Whew. I pray for those who seem to mistreat me, talk down to me, ignore me, insult me, and actively pursue my harm. Whoo, man. Okay. All right, I'll lead this prayer.
We'll lean on the previous scriptures today when we say we'll do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We will do this. We're gonna. If we're challenged, that means that's a good thing. If it's not challenging, you're already doing it. Okay, here we go. Lord, thank you so much for our opportunity to do this. Thank you that Derek was willing to jump right in and help me, Lord. Thank you that you've taken me out of my comfort zone again and again, Lord, to help me grow. Lord, I know that this is going to be a hard passage for me. The prayer that I have been asked to pray today, that I am praying for those who try to hurt me, to harm me, to insult me. Lord, I am praying for them because I do believe, as I've said before, Lord, that the people who are doing evil are not doing it on their own. Lord, I know that the people that are doing evil or trying to do me harm just need a relationship with you, Lord. So I ask that those people find a relationship with you. And if I can do anything to help that, Lord, I will. Just lead me in the way. Lord, thank you so much for everything you do for us on a daily basis. Thank you that you're going to get us through this pandemic. Lord, I thank you that on the other side of this, it's going to be better. That we're going to see that all these things that we had to give up, we never needed in the first place, Lord. I thank you that we all have the opportunity to spend more time with you and that we can take that as something very important, Lord, and put it on the high priority list. Thank you so much, Lord, for everyone here. Thank you that you will continue to lead our way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And it says Jesus is inviting you to follow him on mission to know God, grow in freedom, discover purpose, and go make a difference. What's a simple step you can take to activate the way of Jesus in your life today? So we will discuss this tomorrow. We're going to post this video in the group. You can share this video once you're in the group. I believe that you can invite people to it. I think there was a way for you to do that even if they're not on our friends list. If not, if you're not able to invite and there's someone you want to invite, let me know and we'll work together to figure out how to get them in the group if that's something that they want to do.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.